CBS News Chief White House correspondent Major Garrett is joining us now from Washington. So, Major, we have two new people at the top, but Paul Manafort remains the chairman of the Trump campaign. How do you think this dynamic will work?
Well, it's interesting. They had a national security meeting, which Trump and his new advisors wanted to make look a little bit like a cabinet meeting. So they did all the theatrics that you would commonly see for something like that. And then they had all these three operatives, political operatives, in the meeting. Paul Manafort, Kellyanne Conway, the new campaign manager, and Steve Bannon, the new CEO. Now, ordinarily, they would not be in a meeting of that kind because that's about national security, defeating ISIS, counterterrorism, heavyweight stuff that most political operatives who are running a campaign don't need to be involved in because they're running the campaign. But the Trump organization wanted to make a visual statement that everyone was on the same page, everyone was together, and I'm told by people who participated in this closed-door session that all three of them spoke, these campaign operatives, freely and contributed to the conversation, and that took a bit of the edge off of this latest Trump management shakeup. But that's only for one day. The mechanics of this operation, how it's all going to work, what Manafort's responsibilities still are, if very many important ones remain, is to be determined. Kellyanne Conway is really going to travel with Trump and sort of be the voice of political strategy on the road, meaning she's not going to be in the New York headquarters managing a campaign. She's going to be managing the candidate. And when you think about the Trump campaign, it really is the candidate and almost nothing else. So for campaign management, you've got to be near Trump, and that's where Conway's going to be. As far as what Bannon's going to be, there's nothing about his background that suggests a particular expertise in running the nuts and bolts of a national campaign from a finance perspective. His true expertise is harsh attacks on either what he considers apostate Republicans or Democrats, and he's got a huge dossier on Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, providing fodder for Trump attacks against the Clintons. Principally will be Bannon's area of expertise.
So here is what we sort of have been led to believe, though, that Manafort really wanted Donald Trump to stick to the script, read the teleprompter, move away from these off-the-cuff remarks that get a lot of attention and shift people's focus away from his policies. But that Kellyanne Conway and Steve Bannon would be more likely to encourage that kind of behavior, or at least tolerate it. So moving forward, can we guess what sort of Donald Trump we will be seeing? What's the strategy going to be?
No, we really can't. I mean, remember, and we've discussed this on CBSN several times, when Paul Manafort first came aboard, he told me, if this race comes down to who Donald Trump is and what may or may not be wrong with him, then I've not done my job, we have not done my job, and we're going to lose. He said this race has to be about change, number one, the fact that Hillary Clinton cannot bring change to Washington, and that people are dissatisfied with the status quo. That has been Manafort's mantra to Trump since he came on the campaign. Focus on change, Clinton, and restructuring Washington. Well, you can ask and answer the question yourself. Has that been the sum total of the Trump message leading up to the Republican convention, during the Republican convention, or after the Republican convention? Partially, but not overwhelmingly, and that's been the essential problem. And that's why Manafort has grown increasingly dismayed with what the campaign messaging, to the degree there has been any, has been. And so now Kellyanne Conway, who's been a part of the campaign for weeks before the Republican National Convention, inherits that problem. And perhaps she will have more effectiveness persuading Trump to stay on that message and focus intensely on economic change, changing Washington, dealing with Wall Street, a sort of populist economic message, and saying in all of those areas, Hillary Clinton is a product of the status quo and would never even think of changing things. If Trump can stay in those lanes, many of his supporters believe this campaign can turn around. But time is wasting, opportunities have been missed, and Trump has shown no clear indication he wants to stay on any sort of message for any length of time.
Yep, many people have said successful campaigns don't shake things up. At this point in the game, we will see. Major Garrett in Washington, thank you.
You got it.
Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton is leading in 3 important swing states. The latest Quinnipiac University poll shows the Democratic nominee up double digits in Colorado and Virginia.
She's also edging Trump in Iowa, though her lead is within the margin of error there. However, a different poll shows Donald Trump beating Clinton by 11 points in Indiana, another key battleground state.
Nancy Cordes has been following the Clinton campaign, and she comes to us from Washington. Nancy, we see Clinton is enjoying leads in several swing states. She's also leading nationally. Things are looking pretty good for her. So moving